Well, I would say most of the big food companies are good businesses in that they earn good returns on tangible assets. And I don't want to get into particularly into specifics on Kraft, but if you own important branded products in this country, whether it's Wrigley's or Mars or Coca-Cola or a number of the Kraft brands or See's Candy, you have good assets. It's not easy to take on those products. Just imagine, taking on Coca-Cola will sell 1.5 billion 8-ounce servings of its product around the world today. There's something in every person's mind virtually in the globe about Coca-Cola. That product of since 1886 has been associated with happiness and good value in terms of refreshment and all that. It's just about impossible, to, in my mind anyway, to take on a product like that. It clearly satisfies people in a, everywhere on the globe. And, it may not be the same Kraft, for example, as Kool-Aid in the powdered soft drink business. I don't think I'd want to try and take on Kool-Aid. I'd rather have Coca-Cola, but it's a tough product. And to get implanted, to get implanted in people's mind RC Cola around the world. And RC Cola's been around a long, long time. It isn't going to go anyplace. I mean, it is very, very difficult. And actually, Richard Branson came over to this country. They say that a brand is a promise. I mean, there's a promise involved in picking up a Milky Way or picking up a Coca-Cola as to what it's going to deliver to you. Richard Branson came over 7 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, a fellow with a famous airline and all of that. And he came out with something called Virgin Cola. Now, I thought that was kind of an unusual promise to have in a product. Never could quite figure that one out, what the promise was. But whatever it was, it didn't work. And there've been, I don't know how many, Don Keogh would know, but there've been hundreds of colas over the years. But in the end, who is going to, buy some substitute cola for a penny a can less, or 2 cents a can less than Coca-Cola, or the same thing with See's Candy, or the same thing with Kool-Aid, or whatever it may be. So we feel pretty good about branded products when they're runaway leaders in their field. And there's nothing unusual about Kraft in their position versus Kellogg or some other people like that. So the specifics of which one we buy may depend a little bit on how we feel about the price. It certainly will make a difference how we feel about the price, the management, and some other factors. But if you buy in with good branded products and you don't pay too much, you're probably going to do okay. On the other hand, you're not going to get super rich because the attributes that I've just laid out are pretty well recognized. Charlie?
I've got nothing to add.
Okay. The strong brands, just look at the ones that General Foods had in the 1980s and the ones that Kraft has now that come from that same company. And I mean, Coca-Cola sold more cases of beverages last year than any year in their history, and they'll sell more this year. I mean, it's a strong brand is really potent stuff. I mean, take Heinz ketchup or something of the sort. It's 60% brand share in the United States, but it's much higher in many other countries. So you'll always have the fight between the retailer and the brand, and the retailer is going to use all the pressure they've got, and therefore the brand has to stand for something in the consumer's mind, because in the end the retailer may want to shift to a house brand, private label, private labels have been around forever in the soft drink field. I mean, I can remember when I was looking at Cott Beverage and all of those and thinking, what'll it do to us? I remember when Sam Walton sent me the first six-pack. He told me it was the first six-pack of Sam's Cola 20 years ago. And believe me, Walmart has plenty of power, but so does Coca-Cola. And the brand, you've got to nourish them. You've got to take very, very, very good care of them. They have to stand for the promise that's in people's mind about them. But a lot of people have tried to I don't know how many dozens or maybe hundreds of cola beverages there have been over the years. RC Cola, you know, they came up with the first diet product back in the early 60s, and that looked like a big maneuver. Wilkinson came up with the blade back in the 60s after Gillette, but Gillette ends up with 70% by dollar value worldwide of razor blades after 100 years. So you've got to protect a brand. You've got to enhance it in every way. You've got to get a promise in people's minds that gets delivered that way. But that's the question Charlie and I faced in 1972 when we looked at See's. See's was selling for $1.95 a pound. Russell Stover was selling a little cheaper. And you had to decide how much damage could a Russell Stover do if they came after See's and they copied our shops and all that sort of thing. If you protect a brand, if you got a terrific brand and you protect it, it's a fabulous asset. But you'll always have trouble dealing with Costco and Walmart and the rest of the guys, Kroger, and you name it. You know, they're tough too. But the great brands will survive and the great retailers will do well. Charlie?
Well, we've almost exhausted this topic. There's no question about the fact that waves of layoffs frighten people. A job is a very important part of a person's life, and it's no small thing to lose it. So, but on the other hand, I don't think what would our country be if we'd kept everybody on the farms? All this prosperous group would be pitching hay and milking cows at 4 a.m. No, we need our businesses to be right-sized.
Station 9.